30 miles south of Gallup, New Mexico, lies the pueblo of Zuni. Sheltered from the desolate high plains, this adobe city is home to the Zuni Indians, one of the oldest indigenous tribes in North America. They have inhabited this land for almost 2,000 years and have protected their secrets even longer.
The Zuni are a very interesting culture in that they're one of the few cultures that really have not opened up to the rest of the world about their star knowledge traditions. Most of this type of information is very closely held by the natives. And I really find it very intriguing that this is the time period in history where now we're starting to learn more and more about their star knowledge.
Much of the Zuni people's history is etched in the rocks in the New Mexico desert. Tribal elder Clifford Mahudi and archaeologist Dan Simplicio have studied the Zuni secret history firsthand. They've collected stories passed down through generations that are rooted in the belief that the tribe's creators and protectors are supernatural beings from the sky.
This one's kind of interesting here. I would imagine it was created in last century, but it's on this design, you can see the star's figure. Celestial images oftentimes are depicted in a lot of our cultural petroglyphs, and this is one of them where it depicts the star. It could be the supernova of the Crab Nebula.
Our Zuni mythology in the prayer system and the ritualistic protocols talk about these people that came over here and told us how to actually live our lives as being sky people. If you listen to a lot of religious chants and songs and prayers, that's all they talk about. They're talking about space, they're talking about out there in the universe where they came from, so they depict it on a rock wall here, but the actual meaning of it is somewhere more profound and more complex than that.
These drawings are thought to have been created around 1200 BC, yet they appear to depict modern space travelers and their vehicles.
If you move back a little bit, you can see another figure here. It has a dome, has eyes. There's something coming down,
And a nose.
like a nose through the nose, but it kind of flares out.
I think it was something to do with the ancient ones that when they saw something, they took as much description of it to put it on there. Of course, it's not going to be exactly what they saw, but that's as best as they can do for something that they saw.
With all petroglyphs and things like that, I mean, they're up to interpretation. Sometimes they're just doodlings of people, but other times they may well be actual descriptions and depictions of some kind of god from outer space, some ancient astronaut. And when you go around, say, like the Zuni Pueblo, and that's what they'll tell you. Those petroglyphs are. Even the Zunis themselves call them the spacemen.
This one seems to have two legs coming out like that. It has a broad, diamond-shaped body. There probably was a bitter head that chipped off here. Very different looking than humans are.
Now, usually they're called UFOs, but in the Zuni way, we've always been taught that they're the keepers of the upper world, which means space. They're sky people, beings that are of the extraterrestrial origin, and this is still within our mythology and our religious practices today.
Like most Indian tribes, the Zunis call these sky people Kachinas. According to the Zunis' creation story, the Kachina gods came down from the heavens to lead the Zunis to Earth through a special portal.
The pt.2, that's the entrance to the fourth world. or the world, and that's a representation of where the Kachinas come and go. And so according to the mythologies, the Zunis were brought forth into the world of light, which is where we are at today, by what I would interpret as extraterrestrial beings from the universe.
Every year, the Zunis participate in a ceremony known as the Shalako Festival. Dressed in traditional costumes to represent the Kachinas, the Indians celebrate the arrival of the gods on Earth.
This is a figurine of Kachina gods, and these guys are some gods from the sky who came down. They wear weird helmets. This one has a helmet as a head, and if you look at the whole body of it, it's as if it wears some type of a suit. This one here also has the helmet and the visor. For the Pueblo Indians, like the Zunis, these are their sky gods that every year they have special ceremonies. People put on these special costumes and masks to reenact the coming of the gods. They really look like ancient astronauts.
If you look at the poetry and the legends and the stories from American Indian tribes in the Southwest, they have the legend of the Star People. The Star People came to Earth and seeded planet Earth, and they came on flying ships. If you speak to the elders, they will tell you that a lot of us believe in the existence of extraterrestrials.
The Zunis don't have a written language. The storyteller comes and he tells the young children how it all happened. All their songs that they do in their ceremonies tell the story over and over, and that's how they pass it down. Traditions, customs, beliefs, they tell it in the Indian way. They use things they understand to explain things that they don't understand.
I remember my grandparents talking about a craft that flew and had actually crash landed on one of the mesas east of here. There's no interpretation of what an aircraft is, so the closest thing that they could interpret as anything capable of flight is a bird or our masked Kachina dancers.
We're very, very superstitious people. It's always been in the history of Zuni that they've always been here, even right here where we're sitting right now. But you just don't see them. They're in a different frequency. And those are very, very sacred, and those are very, very secret.
They're out there somewhere.
For those who believe that ancient astronauts came to Earth thousands of years ago, prehistoric artwork provides more clues in what they claim is a growing body of evidence. From wall carvings and statues in ancient Egypt, to tribal traditions and exotic masks in West Africa, to petroglyphs in the American Southwest, all thousands of years old, they seem to recount similar stories of visitors from the skies. Could the legends of alien beings visiting Earth thousands of years ago have inspired more traditional beliefs?
It'd be very